I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into the hilarious and heartwarming world of Michelle Groux and her book, We Chose Him and She Chose Us. Funny tales about our models of limited pedigree. This collection of laugh out loud stories captures the unpredictable antics of Zeus, a dignified Anatolian shepherd, and Ziggy, the sweet but chaotic canine who turned Michelle's life upside down. If you're a dog lover or just enjoy funny, feel-good stories, you won't want to miss this amazing book. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her beautiful book. The links are below the interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. Welcome to my home.
Oh, great to have you on our show and be in your home as well. Your dogs are amazing, the stories you've captured. It isn't easy, I would think, on one level to write stories about your dogs. I love my dogs, and they always are doing something crazy, ripping up this, ripping up that, and getting into all kinds of turmoil. But when it comes to actually writing stories about them, was it a little bit of a challenge?
Well, I don't have a history of writing, but it started with Zeus, and just something in him inspired me to put my frustrations down on paper. And while I actually onto Facebook, and people started liking and enjoying what I was writing, so I started to do it more. And of course, then Ziggy came along and inspired me to write more. So that's kind of how it got started. But no, I don't have a history of any kind of writing skills whatsoever.
Is there a story that sticks out in this book that you think is particularly funny, touching, amusing, or whatever?
I love the story about the bug. I had such fun with that one. But a lot of the stories are great. I don't really think I could pick just one.
It's like choosing among kids, of course. Tell the folks at home the story about the bug. Let's give them a little teaser here.
The story about the bug,
Yeah.
it's just basically stories about things that they subject us to. Our life is pretty boring, drama free. And so when you're out and about, and a lot of the things would happen on walks, the situations, it just, they, whether you like it or not, are not a background to your life. They are very much a part of your life. As a matter of fact, I think we're a background to their lives because they have a plan, an agenda, especially Ziggy. She is, I have never met or had a dog like her. She has a schedule when she wakes up, and she has a plan, and everybody's surrounding us. She's free roaming because we don't have leash laws in Goochland except in April and May when the wildlife are having their babies. So she has lots of neighbors that she goes to visit. So if we're boring, which we are a lot, she'll move on and she'll go visit someone that gives her what she wants. And I have put out flyers, asking them, please don't feed her. And I have explained to them, basically, we're her system, and we're all just, for lack of a better word, we're all her bitches, and she's just working us. That's all, to get what she wants. So she's unusual. And then just, getting Zeus, I'd never had or seen or didn't know anything about an Anatolian shepherd. And seeing him at a pet adoption event, and I was entranced. I mean, I watched how people interacted with him, and the teenagers, they kept wanting to walk him. And I just enchanted with him. And so I had called Leo, and he was out on the water fishing, and I was telling him about him, and he's like, I'm on the water. So I was like, okay, so he's not going to come. So I called my son, and he came, and Chris looked at me and he said, that's not a dog, that's a pony. And then sure enough, Leo shows up, just as they're closing down, and he looks at me and he says, "That's not a dog, that's a pony." And I'm just standing there like father, like son. And both of them were they were looking at me like I was crazy for wanting Zeus. And I didn't realize at the time that Zeus was in a livestock crate, not a regular size crate, until I went to buy a regular size crate and put him in it, and he didn't fit. And we had to go get a livestock crate for him. So I've just never had a big dog, interacted with a big dog. And when we got him, he had been with the family for a year, and they had an autistic son, and they didn't bond. So they gave him up, and he went to a foster family, and she was fabulous. She had 2 German Shepherds and twin boys. So Zeus had a lot of interaction with that family. So by the time he spent time there and then came to us, when she left, I mean, he was devastated. And it took a long time for him to bond. And we actually bonded over that show, The Walking Dead. I was sitting on the sofa watching it way back when it was first starting. And he, not supposed to sit on the sofa, he came over and he sat on the sofa, and then he kept getting closer and closer. Next thing I know, he's up against me, and I look over and his pupils are dilated with fear. He's just in fear. And so from then on, he would watch it with me, but I would make that noise and become a zombie, and I would chase him around the house, and he loved it. And from then on, that was the turning point to where finally we bonded. And then I truly was. I have never belonged to a dog, but I was his.
Yeah. I think there's something about big dogs. I always have small dogs. They're easier to travel with, that kind of stuff. Party dogs, I have Jack Russell Terriers, but I know people who have big dogs, and it's almost like having a person with you. I mean, their size alone is reminiscent of a person, right?
Yes. When he's on his hind legs, he's face to face with me.
Yeah. And if he's sitting on the couch, you guys are eye to eye, right?
We are.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
amazing. It was wonderful.
Amazing. Now, you said we chose him and she chose us. You're talking about Ziggy chose you, right?
Ziggy followed Leo and Zeus home one day, and I wrote a story about that. It's in the book.
Yeah.
They were her knight in shining armors, and Ziggy tends to gravitate towards crazy, and Zeus can be a little bit crazy when he gets excited. He's very like Tigger on Winnie the Pooh. He's jumpy, and so that would intimidate a lot of dogs. But with Ziggy, didn't bother her, didn't faze her, and she just stayed. She never left. So
amazing. So it's very cool that she chose you. Let's get Leo on in here with you.
Yes,
one of the characters from your book, who's not a dog, who's your husband and a handsome guy.
He is. He's coming.
He's coming on over here. There he goes. He's giving it away. Hey, Leo, how are you?
How you doing?
Good to see you today. So what was your reaction when your wife wanted to bring home this ginormous dog?
Well, I was still getting over our other dog after about 1.5 years, and I'm kind of like, I was kind of like enjoying dog free for a little while.
Yeah.
And I said, if you and Chris like him, then get him, honey. I'll be home in a little bit. And when I saw him, I was like, well, I have to work overtime for this one, I guess.
Yeah, just to keep them fed. I mean, those dogs eat a lot of food, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. How long did you guys have Zeus?
Zeus died 11. He was
11 years and 1
month in August.
Mm-hmm.
And I have him here with me.
I know. That's a beautiful remembrance of a beautiful dog.
His little necktie he used to put on from the groomery.
We have his necktie.
Very cute. Very cute. And 11 years is old for a very large breed dog. So you guys took great care of him.
His veterinarian, Dr. Mortimer, was amazed.
Yeah. And
he had fabulous hips, and he was amazed about his hips too. His ACLs, not so much, but the hips were fabulous.
Yeah. Awesome. So, and Leo, when your wife said, I'm going to write a book about our dogs, what was your reaction?
When she started her little, just stories, and people were like, oh my gosh, it's so great. It's so funny, and we love it, and this and that. And, she's very creative, very artsy. Her whole family is, but she's very eloquent in her wording, and she gets things across. So I was, you know, I was all in for it and
Good.
encouraged her. And you know, way back in the day when my kids were babies, she started a little book called Harry Pillow and the Pea. It was about a caterpillar that didn't like to eat peas. And that really never materialized. And she just, you know, had branched into other things. But yeah, I'm proud of her. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm sure she needed your support, and I'm sure the stories that she told to friends and family over the dinner table and whatnot showed that she had the genesis of a book here.
Mhm.
Michelle, who's your target audience for this book?
Anybody who loves pets, anybody that loves short stories, comedy. Basically, I think what I'm trying to show is, you know, I think God gives us pets to show us different types of love
Mm-hmm.
and different levels. I had no idea. I thought I loved all the dogs and cats, the pets we've had, but Zeus was unique. It was just
Yeah.
special. And I didn't even know that was a possibility until I experienced it. So, you know, I hope people do experience it. And there are a lot of pet lovers out there. So
I always say dogs are the gift you give yourself. I can't imagine not having a dog in my life. Yes, they're inconvenient. Yes, they whine. Yes, they make messes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're up early in the morning on rainy days. Yes, they get diarrhea and they throw up and all of that stuff. But the joy of having this little critter constantly around your feet while you're walking around the house, you're sitting on the couch or whatever it might be, makes it all worth it, right?
it does.
Yeah.
And they, I mean, they love us at a level that is tremendous.
Yeah, they teach us how to love, I think, because it truly is unconditional love. I mean, you can get mad at the dog, yell at the dog, and the next thing you know, he's licking your toes. So,
Yeah.
not a
Yeah, that's
bad
true.
thing.
And I know I've done that many times, but they drive me crazy.
Yeah, you can't help it every now and then. I have a dog named Butters who constantly whines at me. He's a sweet dog. He's a pretty dog. He's smart, but all the time. But you know, we've learned to love him despite his whines. What can you do?
And you do,
Oh, yeah.
you
Yeah,
adjust.
without a doubt. Have you guys envisioned this as like a film or a TV series or anything like that? Have you toyed with that idea?
You know, I've been thinking about it and I know I can do it. I mean, I
Yeah,
did this book by myself.
yeah.
I would put it in front of my sisters, and apparently I'm not a very nice person to critique, so they were nervous about me. But they're fabulous, and my daughter too. And my one sister, she's Paulette. She's does photography up in, you know, she did it big time up in New Jersey and
Yeah.
Mhm.
New York. And she said, Michelle, your photos suck. Well, I know I'm not a good writer. I've never claimed to be good at photography, so I stuck them in an app
Mhm.
and used that to kind of cartoon them. And so my biggest negative became a real positive.
Mm,
And I had some good photos in there, so I kept them like that.
right.
And then Pat Garber, who heads the Joy of Writing class out here in Goochland, which is, she's fabulous and she's written many books. She advised do all of the pictures the same way. So I once again had to go back and do all of the pictures throughout the book that way. So a lot of editing, a lot of tweaking. It was
I
crazy,
think it
but
would make a great movie, though.
yeah,
Yeah, I
so
think
I
it
think
would
I
be. I think
can.
bringing the characters, bringing the dogs to life, and TV series,
Yes,
whatever
Yeah,
it is. I mean, it's been a long time since Lassie, since we had a TV show
that's
about
true.
dogs.
Yeah.
And look
Yeah.
how popular
And
that was, or
sometimes
Rin
I'll say,
Tin
yeah.
Tin, right? Yeah.
I used to
I
say that to Zeus. I'm like, what, Lassie? What? And he's like, you know, I've
trying to
never heard
talk
of
to
Lassie.
him. Yeah, no,
Exactly.
I know I can do it.
I think it would
I
be
can sit down and do it.
great for a wide variety audience to make a movie.
Exactly. I think it would work on the
And,
small screen, the big screen, whatever you guys decide.
Absolutely, yeah.
and we've
Or you
got
could do your own
almost
reality show. You might be the next, you know, Magnolia couple talking about their
Chip
dogs
and
on
Joanne,
TV.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
that's right. That chip in whatever. What's her name?
Joanne.
Joanne. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, we have almost 40 years together. So
Okay.
there's a
Yeah.
lot to write about, and I definitely have a definitive starting point, and that was the day that I met Zeus. So
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome. The name of the book, folks, is We Chose Him and She Chose Us, Funny Tales About Our Models of Limited Pedigree. This laugh out loud collection of stories captures the unpredictable antics of Zeus, a dignified Anatolian shepherd, and Ziggy, the sweet but chaotic canine who turned Michelle and Leo's lives upside down. If you're a dog lover, or just enjoy funny, feel-good stories, you won't want to miss this book. The links are below the interview. Michelle, Leo, thank you both so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan,
Thank you,
very
thank
much. God
you.
bless you.
God bless you. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.